I made it back. I told Glenn we was coming in, and I said, Gary asked me if I'd fill in for you for a while, and I said, yeah. I hadn't been back since. I told Pansy, I said, this winter and snow has been something else, you know. We had 6 inches the other day, then had a couple more, and it's been so cold. If it melts, it just freezes back in clear ice, but I ain't been on no side roads. I come across Sam's Gap, was going down Canyon River and places. The sun never hits, and I knew it'd be solid ice, so I come around the long way. But I tell you, it's like old prophet Jeremiah said. People rebelled against God, and they wouldn't follow what He's saying. He said, I just ain't going to speak in His name no more. Well, he went just a little while, and he said it's like fire shut up in his bones. That's the way I've been. I've never been needing to preach. And, a preacher don't preach in a while. Pandy says, honey, you've been ill. I said, I need to preach. I said, I need to get it out of me. It does. It wells up in me. And that's where I find my satisfaction in. And I believe it is yours too, is when we obey the good Lord. So it is good to be here tonight. Good to see each one of you here. And have many to pray for. Remember Pansy, she had some tests done. She had an appointment. It was Wednesday with an endocrinologist. She's got some stuff going on. It's kind of weird. And they called Monday evening and said, we can get you tomorrow. Do you want it? Pansy said, what do you think? I said, get it. Because I knew it was going to be so far out. So she went, and they did blood work and so on and some stuff. Just remember her. And she'd love to be here, but she just didn't feel like coming. And when I go to church and she ain't with me, I miss that. Driving across the mountain, but just remember her in your prayers. Remember all of our lost. And I thought about this being a new year. What happened last year is in the books. And we can't look back, but we need to look forward, don't we? Need to look forward. In my life, and I'm sure it is with your life, there's been hurts. There's been things that's happened that you didn't think would happen. But all along with that, there's been a lot of joy too. But what's in 2024, it's in the books. And we'll face it, and everybody else will too. So let's go forward, and let's live the best that we can, that we could have a good time in serving the Lord this coming year. That's what I want to do. I want to do His will, don't you? So let's look to that end. Anybody else have a prayer request tonight?
I have many, and remember all my lost.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Remember my lost too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember one of them quiet passed away at Spirit.
Yes. Yeah.
Ain't that ever happened, but it did.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
Hope I ain't heard from Jerry. How are they?
I think he was sick.
Well, they have a kind of like Pansy. Seem like they have a lot of health problems. But just, I know she failed. I think they both failed, didn't they? While not too long ago. But just remember them in our prayers.
I thought he was, and I want you to remember that he fell and he was hurt pretty bad. And he has to go back to the orthopedics Friday. And I hope everything will be all right so they don't have to do surgery.
Yes.
Many remember our loss. Me and my sister have a good friend we went to school with, and her husband had a massive heart attack Monday evening, passed away suddenly. Remember that.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sure here I've come to church. I met 4 dump trucks on little old narrow Jacks Creek. You about have to get in the ditch line. They're so wide, they get off the road, but that road just ain't made for that kind of vehicles. There's been 2 men killed since the flood in Yancey. One of them was going off the backside of Cox's Creek. His brakes went out and he was loaded with gravel. He went plumb out in the middle of Cane River and the iron it hit and turned over and it killed him. There's another guy killed with the accident. So just remember everybody on the road. The Lord just take care of them. It's going to be like this for a long time. And just pray the Lord look after everybody. Everybody can and will. Let's come gather around the altar for prayer tonight. Ask Brother Glenn if he would to lead us to the Lord in prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight, and we thank you for
Yes.
Jesus.
Lord Jesus. Will be done in each one's lives, Father, that we can grow in grace and admonition of thee, Father. Thy name, Father, might be highly lifted up. Yes, Lord Jesus, each request, Lord, answer according to thy precious will, God, that thy name might be exalted. Amen. Amen. I got this on, brother. I've got it on. Okay. Yeah. How my throat is. Be tuned just to see if I. I put new set of strings on the guitar this week, and they keep stretching, they keep dropping. Pretty close. In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, just give me Jesus. When I am alone, when I am alone, when I am alone, just give me Jesus. Just give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Just give me Jesus. When I come to die, when I come to die, when I come to die, just give me Jesus. When the Jordan I have crossed, when the Jordan I have crossed, when the Jordan I have crossed, then I'll have Jesus. Just give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. Just give me Jesus. That's one of few I can sing by memory. I don't know why it is, but I can usually do that. Love that song. I'll read one place in the book of Judges. Like I said, Joshua put the bookmark in the wrong place. Joshua chapter 5. Maybe Judges chapter 5. I wrote the wrong thing down. Let me see if it's over here. Yeah, Joshua chapter 5. Joshua chapter 5. And chapter or verse 11. Joshua 5 and 11. Now this was after that the children of Israel, through God's leadership towards Moses, God's people was set free there in Egypt. And they left with a high hand, and they started out on their journey toward the Promised Land. And they were kind of like us. They grunted and grumbled along the way a whole lot. And because of their disobedience, the ones from Joshua and Caleb, from that age, there's only 2 of that age that survived it. But that age on up, they all died out. Them wandering for 40 years in the wilderness because of their disobedience. Then when it came time for God to allow them to go and cross the Jordan, to go over against Jericho and begin their taking of countries, Moses, he wasn't able to go over because the Lord had spoke to him and told him to speak to a rock that it might give water. And the people was whining to him, so in his anger, he smote the rock with a rod, and the water came out. And because of that one thing, Moses, he looked over into the Promised Land, but he wasn't able to walk there himself. The Bible says that God took him, and they've hunted for his grave after that, and probably archaeologists still wonder about it. But God knew where he laid him. And he knows where he'll be on the final judgment day. But after that Moses left, he entrusted God's will to Joshua. God actually chose Joshua, and Moses backed him up in that, and the people knew by the faithfulness that Joshua had showed to Moses all that time, and the things that Joshua did, that he was the man that they was to follow after. Now, they was getting ready to cross the Jordan. I bought me a pair of glasses to hang them around my neck so I couldn't lose them when I left Temptation. But Joshua chapter 5 and verse 11, and they came up to, they had a Passover there at Gilgal. And then says in verse 11, and they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the selfsame day. And then in verse 12, and the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land, neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. So this was kind of a new year for the children of Israel, wasn't it? They had went for over 40 years heading toward the Promised Land, and they had to go in circles in the wilderness till them people, those unfaithful people, died out. They made their last turn coming around, and they was heading toward the Promised Land. I believe they had a little better jump to their step. Had a little bit of different conversation to talk about. Wonder how it's going to be when we get across the river there. Reckon what we're going to face. There was a lot of fears to face. There was a lot of unknowns that because they had been in they knew every rock and every ditch in the wilderness. They knew every old tree and snag and everything. But when they made that last round and headed down toward the Jordan, it was different. And it's amazing how that they had the old corn there that they'd carried with them, and they was eating the last bit of it. And that last morning was the last time that they had manna, because it said on the next day they began to eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan. And I thought about, that wasn't even what I was going to preach tonight. The Lord just keeps pushing this, so it's good. But, this past year we saw a lot of agony, especially in latter end of September up to now. Life-changing circumstances for a lot of our neighbors. Life-changing circumstances for the government officials, our nation. Crump's supposed to be in Asheville Friday. He mentioned the other day, he said they'd forgotten North Carolina, and I thought, well, thank you there, brother. So he's coming Friday. I guess the Swannanoa out there is really bad out there too. But our roads, you have to really be on the lookout anywhere you drive, because especially when they salted the roads and that old gray dust is just like mud on the roads, and it's slick, and everybody's in a hurry to get somewhere, and they're working on the roads. They got these portable stop signs that comes down, and you wait, and then when it comes up, then you can go. But you wonder if so you're going to hit somebody head on in the curve where it's one lane. And it's just the uncertain times that we're living in. And we know it's going to keep going on for a while, but I tell you, I'm glad I was able to live through that and able to come back to church. There's a lot of people missing in their homes. When they sat down at Christmas, there was an empty chair there. One family lost 11 members in 3 generations of families. They gathered to have a wedding, and most of their family got washed away. It just came, all of a sudden where they lived over next to Sweeten Creek back in that mountain in there. But there's been a lot of changes in things. But I tell you, when the new year came about, it was January 1st, I went in there and I turned the calendar over, and it turned back over to 2024. And I said, Pansy, I forgot to get us some new calendars. So I just went right out and got 2 or 3 calendars and put them back up. But I had a sense of a new time's coming. If we live till spring, it'll be grand, won't it? I don't like these dark nights. I wish you'd leave the time like it was before. It gets 8 o'clock in the night, and you think, well, it's about bedtime, and you still got hours to go, and the nights are long, aren't they? And I'm looking forward to spring. The days are getting longer, thank God. They're getting about a minute or 2 longer per day, and it just energizes me. And I love them long evenings in the summer. It gets dark about 9:20 or 9:30. I like that late in the evening. The pretty sunsets and all. Then when you get on, it's bedtime, But these people had a looking forward to a new thing going on. They're looking forward to being able to get out of that desert place they'd been wandering around in. They was getting ready to go across the river there and go over into the place that God had promised them. But it wasn't going to come easy. They wasn't just going to, everybody just bow to them and them go along into the promised land. They had to fight, and they was in war constantly, and they had to stay together to do that. So what a good lesson in that for us now. We don't know what this year holds. We really don't. But I tell you, the Lord, He's been with us this long, and He'll be with us the rest of the way. If we'll be faithful to Him, He'll bless us and take care of us, won't He? He didn't say we wouldn't have sickness. He didn't say that we wouldn't have trouble. But He said, I'll be with you, and I'll stick with you closer than a brother. He'll be with us even to the end of the world. And there's one more verse I want to read over here in... Proverbs. Let me look for just a second. Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Now the Lord has set us a way to follow after Him, but we can tell in this world there's a lot of ways out there, ain't there? There's all kinds of denominations. I had them counted up. Seemed like there's over 50-something denominations now. And people, every one of them believes that they're right. Like, well, preacher, well, how do you tell? I tell you how you can tell what's right and what ain't. By the moving of the Spirit of God in your life. If something is right, it will agree, just like me and Gary can handshake. You can feel it in your soul. You can feel the moving of the Spirit of God in your soul for what's right. And these things that's off sideways, just give you an old cold, bad feeling. It'll let you know that ain't following the word of the Lord. So as we travel this way, let's follow after the word of the Lord. In the times that we're living in, we hear so many things that people has come up with, and a lot of people runs after it, and it ain't according to the word of the Lord. And I tell you, if we want to keep our churches going, we got to go the Lord's way. We can't go any way. We've got to go His way. My way ain't right. I like to be right more than anybody. Just ask me. Well, I shoot basketball and play horse. I want to win. I play to win. But my way ain't the right way. But the Lord's way, if we'll follow Him, then we can be right too, can't we? Well, folks, that's by the help of the Lord. That's, the past is the past. There's a lot of things happen behind me and Pansy. You just have to turn it loose. A lot of people says, well, let's bury this. They'll forget about something. And the devil will cause that handle to come back up, and he'll want us to grab a hold of it, jerk it back up, and use that again. Just keep us in misery, looking, have hurt feelings and all kinds of things. He'll keep us tore up 24/7 if we listen to it. But if we can let that go and look forward to the blessings of the good Lord, He will bless us, and He'll help us, won't He? That's what I'm looking for. I want to have a better year this year than I had last year. We don't know if we'll get to see another Christmas, another New Year or not. But I'm going to live tomorrow just like it's my last day, and I believe we ought to do that. We need to do all that we can for the good Lord, and He'll take us home soon enough, won't He? Well, that's all I had tonight. He said that's enough, so it's enough. I appreciate your attention, and I thank God for His Word. Thank God for the stories. People says, boy, that was a good story. It's more than a story, it's reality, isn't it? The Old Testament was a schoolmaster to teach us the ways of God. When Jesus brought that new and living way, we can go back to it, and we can see it just meshes right together, don't it? Through the Spirit of God, and I thank God for that. Anybody else have anything you need to say tonight? Last time I preached, Patty said, honey, you're about to get a little long-winded. I got so tickled. I said, well, I preach till we get done. That's all you can do. She said, I know it. I just ain't. We have time. Oh, Lordy, day. Remember service Sunday. I believe it's supposed to be pretty much sunshine the rest of the week. So hope the Lord we can have service again Sunday morning. Nobody else has anything. Let's stand to our feet. Yeah.